How to fix Resident Evil Requiem crashing by deleting REFramework dinput8.dll. Welcome back to Technobalta, your ultimate source for in-depth technical guides. Today, we're tackling a persistent and frustrating issue for many gamers, Resident Evil Requiem crashing, specifically when linked to modding tools like REFramework. This deep dive will explore how external DLLs, particularly dinput8.dll, can destabilize your game environment, often stemming from previous modding endeavors or incomplete uninstallations. We'll meticulously guide you through isolating the culprit, implementing the primary fix, and understanding the underlying technical reasons behind these crashes, ensuring a stable and immersive gaming experience. Identifying the core conflict, REFramework's dinput8.dll. The fundamental issue frequently arises from REFramework, a popular modding tool that injects custom code into games through DLL proxying, often utilizing dinput8.dll. This dynamic link library is typically used by DirectInput for input devices, but REFramework hijacks its loading sequence to inject its own code and hooks into the game's process. When this injected code becomes incompatible with game updates or other system changes, it can lead to immediate crashes upon launch or during gameplay. Locating the malicious dinput8.dll file. To resolve the conflict, you must pinpoint the exact location of the problematic dinput8.dll file within your Resident Evil Requiem installation directory. Navigate to your Steam library, right-click on Resident Evil Requiem, select Manage, and then Browse Local Files. This action will open the game's root directory, where REFramework often places its DLLs for direct execution by the game engine. Executing the primary fix, deleting dinput8.dll. Once you have located dinput8.dll in the game's root folder, the most effective and direct solution is to delete it. This action immediately removes the conflicting mod injection point, allowing the game to launch and run without the interference that was causing the crashes. Confirming its removal is crucial, as Windows might sometimes require administrative privileges for deletion. Understanding REFramework's modding mechanism. REFramework operates by acting as a proxy DLL, where the game attempts to load a legitimate system DLL, like dinput8.dll, but instead loads REFramework's modified version. This allows REFramework to intercept game functions, inject custom scripts, and enable various modding capabilities. When game updates modify internal structures that REFramework relies upon, the mismatch can lead to unexpected memory access violations or execution errors, resulting in application termination. Thoroughly removing ancillary REFramework DLLs. Beyond dinput8.dll, REFramework or other mod loaders might also utilize dxgi.dll, winmm.dll, or version.dll as proxy DLLs for injection. Inspect your game's root directory for any of these files, as their presence, especially if outdated or conflicting, could also contribute to instability. Removing all non-native DLLs ensures that no residual mod components are interfering with the game's legitimate startup sequence. Verifying game file integrity via Steam. Even after manual deletion, it's wise to verify the integrity of Resident Evil Requiem's game files through Steam. This process scans your installation against the official game files on Steam servers, identifying any corrupted or missing files and automatically replacing them. While this won't remove extra files like mod DLLs, it ensures the core game installation is in a pristine state, ruling out other file corruption as a cause for crashes. Performing a comprehensive game reinstallation. For persistent issues, a complete and thorough reinstallation might be necessary. First, uninstall the game via Steam, then manually navigate to the Steam apps/common directory and delete any remaining Resident Evil Requiem folders to ensure all residual files are purged. This eliminates any hidden mod data or corrupted configurations that a standard uninstall might leave behind, providing a truly fresh start. Addressing residual Fluffy Mod Manager files. If you previously used Fluffy Mod Manager for Resident Evil Village or other titles, ensure all its associated files and directories have been completely removed. While Fluffy Mod Manager typically manages mods within its own structured folders, residual data or global configuration files left behind after uninstallation can sometimes interact with other Resident Evil titles, leading to unforeseen conflicts. Check your documents and user profile directories for any lingering Fluffy Manager assets. Updating REFramework for continued modding optional. If your intention is to continue modding Resident Evil Requiem, but with a stable experience, consider updating REFramework to its absolute latest version. Developers frequently release updates that address compatibility issues with game patches or introduce new stability improvements. Download the newest build from its official source and carefully replace all existing REFramework files, including dinput8.dll, to ensure full compatibility. Updating graphics card drivers for stability. Outdated or corrupted graphics drivers are a common culprit for game crashes, as they manage the communication between your game and GPU. Ensure your NVIDIA, AMD, or Intel graphics drivers are updated to the latest stable release directly from the manufacturer's website. A clean installation, often offered as an option during the driver update process, can resolve underlying driver-related instabilities. Ensuring latest Windows operating system updates. A fully updated Windows operating system is crucial for game stability, as it provides essential system libraries, security patches, and DirectX components that games rely on. Access Windows Update settings and install all pending updates, including optional ones, to ensure your system meets the game's foundational requirements. This mitigates conflicts arising from outdated system files that games interact with. Temporarily disabling antivirus software. Aggressive antivirus or firewall software can sometimes misinterpret mod files or even legitimate game executables as threats, leading to unexpected crashes or file quarantines. Temporarily disable your antivirus software before launching Resident Evil Requiem to rule out interference, and if this resolves the issue, add the game's installation directory to your antivirus's exclusion list. Remember to reactivate your security software afterward. Analyzing crash logs with Windows Event Viewer. For deep diagnostics, the Windows Event Viewer provides detailed crash logs that can pinpoint the exact faulting module or exception code causing the game to crash. Press Windows key +R, type event for .msc, navigate to Windows Logs-Application, and look for error entries related to Resident Evil Requiem.exe. These logs can offer critical clues beyond general troubleshooting. Repairing or reinstalling DirectX runtime. DirectX is a fundamental set of APIs that games use for graphics, audio, and input, and corrupt DirectX components can cause severe game instability. Utilize the DirectX End-User Runtime Web Installer from Microsoft's official website to scan for and replace any missing or corrupted DirectX files. This ensures your system has the correct and fully functional DirectX libraries required by Resident Evil Requiem. Reinstalling Visual C++ redistributables. Many games, including Resident Evil Requiem, rely on specific versions of Microsoft Visual C++ redistributables for core functionality. Corrupted or missing redistributable packages can lead to immediate crashes. Locate and reinstall all Visual C++ redistributables, x86 and x64, from 2005 through the latest available version via Microsoft's website or your game's redistributable folder. Clearing shader caches for game stability. Corrupted shader caches can lead to graphical glitches, performance drops, and even crashes, especially after driver updates or game patches. Navigate to your GPU driver control panel, NVIDIA control panel, AMD Radeon software, and locate the option to clear shader cache. Additionally, you may find game-specific shader caches in %appdata% or the game's installation folder, which can be safely deleted. Disabling in-game overlays, Steam, Discord, GeForce Experience. Overlay applications from platforms like Steam, Discord, or NVIDIA GeForce Experience inject their own UI elements into the game, which can sometimes conflict with injected mod DLLs or even the game's native rendering. Temporarily disable all non-essential in-game overlays to rule out potential conflicts. This ensures the game runs without additional third-party code interfering with its process. Running game executable with administrator privileges. Permission issues can occasionally prevent games, especially those with custom configurations or mod integrations, from writing necessary files or accessing system resources. Navigate to your game's executable, Resident Evil Requiem.exe, right-click, select Properties, go to the Compatibility tab and check Run this program as an administrator. This grants the game elevated permissions, potentially resolving access-related crashes. Seeking specialized modding community support. If all the above steps fail, it's beneficial to reach out to specialized modding communities or forums dedicated to REFramework or Resident Evil Requiem modding. Platforms like Nexus Mods, Reddit's modding subreddits, or the official REFramework GitHub repository often host discussions on specific compatibility issues and provide unique, community-driven solutions for niche problems. Clearly detail your system configuration, game version, and troubleshooting steps taken. Visual aesthetic. Left side, crash a dark, oppressive split-screen section, steeped in deep reds and ominous blacks. A frustrated Ethan Winters-like character is seen slumped over a keyboard, hands gripped in his hair, conveying utter despair. Dominating the foreground is a hyper-realistic, modern Windows-era dialog box, glowing with a malevolent red aura. The title reads Application Error, with the content, Resident Evil Requiem has stopped working unexpectedly. Faulting module, dinput8.dll, exception code, 0xC0000005. Please check the game logs for more details. Behind the box, a frozen, dark Resident Evil Requiem menu hints at the game's premature demise. This 4K, hyperrealistic scene uses professional cinematic lighting to emphasize the character's frustration and the gravity of the crash. Right side, fix the contrasting split-screen bursts with vibrant greens and hopeful blues, depicting a triumphant scene. The same character stands heroically, perhaps aiming a weapon or giving a confident thumbs up, embodying satisfaction. On a pristine, high-end monitor, Resident Evil Requiem runs flawlessly, displaying exhilarating, action-packed gameplay. The visuals are hyper-realistic 4K, with fluid frame rates and stunning detail. No error messages mar the perfect interface, and professional cinematic lighting bathes the scene, highlighting the success and the joy of a fixed game. Don't forget to follow Technobalta for more in-depth technical guides and solutions.